So I spent my entire childhood as this fat little brown kid. And even though I knew it was a bad thing, even though I knew that I shouldn't, I kept on reliving the same 24-hour routine of just, okay, wake up, go to the hub, maybe go on YouTube, play some video games, eat some junk food. And then at the end of the day, after doing nothing like actually productive, I'd go over to the mirror sometimes, look at that fat person in the stomach, at myself, and just punch myself in the stomach because I just hated the way I looked. And I struggled like this for 4 years, but in the last couple of years, I've been able to lose over 15 pounds, and I've completely changed my life around by just using the one mindset and the one formula for losing fat that I started using. I'm going to show you that right now. But before we can talk about, oh my god, what's the best way to lose 10 pounds in 5 days? We need to first to look at something that you're not going to like. You might think I'm a piece of shit for talking about it. It's your beliefs. And you're going to think immediately as soon as I said that, oh, that's boring, bro. Just tell me how to lose 10 pounds quickly, bro. Just tell me the scientific way to lose fat as fast as possible. But the truth is, if you don't learn what I'm going to show you in this video, you are, I don't know why I brought this up. Because if you don't learn the stuff that I'm going to show you right now, you're not going to make any progress for the next couple of years. And I can say that confidently because I know exactly what it's like to be in your position. Because the way that losing fat... Oh, shoot. I messed up. I was going to use this for something important. The thing about losing fat that nobody talks about, there's millions of videos on this topic, and nobody talks about this, is losing fat isn't just the diet routine or the workout plan that you need that suddenly allows you to lose fat. The reason you've been stuck for so long, the reason that you haven't made any progress, is because you keep on focusing on what I like to call the surface level BS. You can visualize trying to lose fat a lot like solving a Rubik's Cube. And what most of the shitty influencers out there show you is the surface level stuff. What's the scientific workout routine? Should you take 5 grams of creatine? Should you do calisthenics or should you work out using weights? And there's hundreds of videos that you've probably seen. You've probably seen thousands at this point of these shitty influencers talking about this surface level stuff. And the funny thing is, all of this stuff up here doesn't even help you. Because if it did, you would already be jacked. But for some reason, the advice up here with the surface level stuff isn't working. And the reason for that is because there is stuff underneath this, besides just the surface level, oh my god, how should you work out to lose fat? That matters way more than any of the stuff up here. When the layers right here that I'm going to talk about in this video have some BS. When you have BS down here, none of this surface level stuff is going to work. And so the first layer that we really need to analyze, as I was saying, is your beliefs, which is the bottom layer right here. And beliefs are genuinely the most important thing. You might not think they are. But the truth is, when you have shitty beliefs, they're going to undermine any of the efforts that you put into trying to lose fat. Because, to give an analogy of this, I'll tell you a story. Back at the start of 9th grade, I was sat there in science class, and we were just having this shitty little science lesson by one of my teachers. And one of my friends had his computer up because during high school, you're allowed to have it to take notes while the teacher is talking. And I saw this kid sitting next to me, and I saw like the YouTube timeline playing. He was watching this video, and I just glanced over at it, and it's this 8-hour long video. And so I look at him like, wait, bro, what are you watching? Why is it so long? And he's like, oh yeah, bro, I found this drop shipping course that he promised is going to show me the template that I'm going to use to get rich, bro. And I know as I'm looking at him, this guy's a dumbass. He's not going to make any progress. But I see him throughout the entire day going through the video, using AI to like make the website and do like the shitty Chinese products. And after he's done doing all this and he like makes the videos on TikTok and sends them to get people to buy, He's all like excited. He's like, bro, I'm going to get so rich doing this, bro. It's going to work so well. And it's just like the easiest way to get rich, bro. A few days go by. And I'm back, sat there with him in the same room. And I asked him just casually, like, hey, bro, what happened with the dropshipping thing? You said you're going to get rich from it, right? And he looks at me with like this NPC, like sad expression. He's like, oh yeah, bro, it didn't work. I don't know. The dude gave me the template, but I don't know. It just didn't work. And later on, I looked at that video that he was watching, and guess what? 3 million other idiots like my friend were on the scammers video. And what I want you to do right now is I want you to just visualize. Imagine 3 million people just sat their mouth breathing while watching the video. Imagine how many of them actually made any progress from watching that video. It has to be less than like 1% of those people. And the reason I brought this story up is because it sounds like a kind of funny, like goofy thing. Like, oh yeah, the dude tried to get rich quick and it didn't work. But it actually shows you a lot about losing fat as well. And more so, why we are such idiots when it comes to trying to make progress. The truth is, that guy, my friend right there, didn't actually succeed because that guy tried to find the shortcut, the easy way to make money, to get rich quick, to do all this shit, right? And the truth is, I spent 4 years as this fat ass, and I was in the same exact position as him. I was trying out all these videos, trying to find the best workout routine, how to lose fat quick, how to make it easy. But what I've learned after actually making progress and losing 15 pounds is that the best way, the fastest way, the easiest way to lose fat is to stop trying to find a shortcut to make this journey easier. That's going to sound weird and you're going to think, wait, what? The fastest way to lose fat is to stop finding a shortcut? But it's the truth, bro. Because your desire for finding a shortcut is the reason you're fat right now. All the hundreds of times you skipped working out because it was too hard. All the times you ate the junk food trying to feel pleasure now. All the times that you tried to find that shortcut is the reason that you're fat right now. Because the truth is, and you might think I'm a prick for saying this, there is no shortcut. It doesn't exist. And you can spend the next 5 years, just like me, as this fat kid, trying to find the shortcut, trying to find the way to make fat loss easy. Or you can just tell yourself, okay, I'm done being a fat ass. Let's just do it the hard way. Because clearly everything else isn't working for you. And I say this with so much passion and anger because the truth is, if it was an easy goal, for example, to lose fat, to get jacked, to get straight A's, everybody would have it. Think about it. If it was easy to lose fat, there wouldn't be any fat people trying to lose fat for 10 years and not making any progress. The truth is, when I say this right now, it's going to sound annoying, but you're going to actually get a lot of value from this. If I could snap my finger right now and suddenly you lost 50 pounds, you became jacked, you had like a huge aesthetic, like Greek god physique. Let's be honest right now. You would probably lose it in like a few months max. And I'm not saying this to make you sound bad. I'm saying this because when you try and shortcut the process of trying to lose fat, you actually make it even worse for yourself because even if it was a quick, for example, a quick diet hack that you could use to get like jacked, or you vacuum out all the fat from your body with surgery, you'd lose it just like the lottery winner that tries to gets a bunch of riches and then suddenly loses it all. And I've been rambling on for so long about this because when you try and find the shortcut, you're going to stay fat. I spent 4 years in the same exact position as you, and it is only going to get harder for you unless you just trust what I'm saying right now and you stop trying to find the shortcut. So that's the first layer right here. Your beliefs are either going to screw you. Oh, my water bottle just fell. Holy. Your beliefs are either going to screw you up or you're going to make progress if you just rewire your brain in the right way. But the second thing, the second most important part of trying to lose fat is your mental health, which is the second layer I'm showing you right here. The truth is, I said, oh my God, there's no shortcut. Don't even try and find it. But I kind of lied. There is one shortcut to trying to lose fat that will take it from this journey that feels almost like this full-time job of trying to lose fat and stay consistent into something that you actually enjoy. And then one hack that I'm going to show you is improving your mental health. And it sounds gay. It sounds like you're a faggot trying to talk about, oh my God, improve your mental health, bro. Because it's such a stupid subject that most people don't even understand. But let's just hear me out right now. Being fat isn't the problem. And I know that sounds weird. The video is about trying to lose fat. Trust me when I say losing fat isn't the problem. It's a symptom of your bad mental health. Because just think about, rewind to almost every single one of the behaviors that got you fat. Think about all the times you ate the junk food, you played 10 hours of video games in a day, you yelled at your parents, you skipped the workout, you went on the hub, you fried your brain with the video games. You did all of these things that got you fat because of your mental health. Because when you have shit mental health, you're going to try and find ways to cope with the fact that you don't enjoy living. You don't like yourself. And so you're going to use things like gaming, scrolling, going on the hub to escape. And then when you finally realize this, it really does make sense. The truth is, when you try and quit, for example, playing video games or junk food or scrolling or going on the hub, it never works because you don't have the right foundation. You don't have the mental health that will allow you to cut out these things. Because if you had perfect mental health, just imagine the most happy, the most joyful person in the world, like some monk that lived in the forest. Even if you offered that guy a bunch of junk food or vapes or all this shit, he wouldn't take it. Because if you already have good mental health, you don't need these things to feel happy. And so the really important thing that I think most of us try and do nowadays is we'll look at this stuff like, oh my god, your mental health is the reason you're fat. And then you might have this tendency to just blame it. And you're like, okay, I guess I have depression. I guess I have bad mental health. I'm not going to lose fat now. Okay, whatever. I guess I'll go play some video games. He said I can't lose fat. I have bad mental health. But that's not true. I don't want you to go now and blame mental health for the reason you're fat. Because the truth is, you have bad mental health because it is your fault. Because the best analogy that I want to give you is that having bad mental health and getting fat is almost like getting into debt. So the way you can imagine it is, think about every single time you ate the junk food or you played video games. It's almost as if you're taking pleasure from future you. Let's say you eat the junk food. The best way to think about it is it's almost like taking future you's pleasure and saying, okay, screw you. I want to feel pleasure now. So you can go screw off. I'm going to eat some junk food right now and you can have fun with the consequences. And that's exactly what happened. It's like you put your future self into a debt. You made him feel worse so that you could feel better now. And when you repeat this 100 times, 1,000 times, 1,000 of these little choices, well, of course you're going to look back and think that younger you was a faggot. Of course you're going to be like, yeah, I hate myself. Of course you have insecurities because you've been put into debt by younger you. So how do we improve our mental health then? Thing is, instead of trying to find the pleasure now, the truth is, if you want to lose fat and improve your mental health and stop being insecure, instead of taking away pleasure from future you, we need to add pleasure to his life now. That's it. If you understand that one concept, you will be able to lose fat. Instead of simply wanting the pleasure now, the way you lose fat, the formula that I talked about earlier for losing fat is simple. Go through pain now, and you will have pleasure later. And it sounds like common sense, but the truth is, this is what 90% of people avoid. Yes, bro, it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be a challenging, almost grind. It's almost supposed to be like this painful thing, because through that pain, it's going to shape you into the person who can lose the fat. Because I gave you that analogy earlier of, okay, if I snapped my fingers and you lost a bunch of fat, you would lose it. Let's imagine the opposite. If you went through 1,000 workouts, 1,000 painful workouts, and you got jacked and you had muscle and you felt good about yourself, and I snapped my fingers and suddenly you gained a bunch of fat, it wouldn't even be that bad of a thing because you went through all the pain already. You've already developed yourself into the person that could lose fat again. So if you've already gone through the hundreds of workouts and you delayed pleasure for future you, you're going to be able to go through the workouts again. You're going to be able to just face the pain, and you'll lose the fat really quickly. You might have heard about how there's a bunch of these CEOs out there that'll start a company and they'll grow it to like $1 billion. They'll sell it, and then they're just bored, so they'll start another company and they'll get rich again. And the thing that's really interesting is that a lot of people are like, wait a minute, oh my god, the rich are bad people. They get money by putting guns to people's head and taking their money. But the truth is, the reason these CEOs that I actually study a lot of on that bookshelf, there's a bunch of books about them. What I've learned is that these people get rich again. They can keep on doing the thing again because they've already gone through the pain of becoming who you can. And so they can just repeat the process over and over and get rich again and again because they've already developed into he who can. So the analogy I want to give you, the action step right now, is I want you to just do one thing today that adds pleasure, that adds life into future you. And what I mean by this is, okay, literally just do a 30-second workout. Do 5 sit-ups today. Literally just spend 1 minute, 5 minutes, just adding a little bit of pleasure to future you's life. Instead of putting him into debt by all of these bad habits that are screwing your life up, let's add pleasure to his life through delaying pleasure right now. And you might not like what I'm saying right now. You might think that, okay, this guy's just telling me the same BS and it's not going to work because it's hard. And I just want to live happy. I just want to be a fun guy. I don't want to do any hard stuff. And that's something that I might have said earlier. But the truth is, imagine 2 routes. Imagine these 2 paths that you could take. The one path of you just doing the easy stuff, doing the fun stuff. I don't care about how I look. That's insecure. I'm just going to do whatever I want. And imagine the path of you instead actually doing the good habits. You actually putting in the work to improve yourself every single day. Which one would you rather be? I'll be honest. I was the fat kid for 4 years, 5 years of my life. I would go down the route of delaying pleasure every single day from now on. If you want more advice on how to lose fat, how to stop being a fat ass, how to actually improve your life and get ahead as a teen rather than 90% of the fat idiots out there, then go down and subscribe right now. And and you might see on the description, there's a link to a Discord that I'm going to put out soon. And it's going to be very simple. The Discord is just going to be a place where you can come and get advice from me on things like fat loss, getting straight A's, how to quit your addictions. And if you want to join this movement of basically just not being a fat ass, instead actually improving your life and getting ahead as a teen, go down and subscribe right now. And as always, my name is Tharv. See you soon, bro.